Good afternoon, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and I am here to discuss Duelist Nexus and the meta implications going forward. I have a lot of deck profiles planned. I might even be able to squeeze one out today. Been a lot of things going on. I've been moving, so that's why I haven't been posting in the last few days. But hey, here we are. This is going to be a quick video of my opinions on Duelist Nexus and how it's going to affect the meta going forward. So, right now, I definitely think that the sets is pretty average. It's not a crazy set, but it's not a bad set at all. We definitely got some new meta decks in the format, or at least decks that were already relevant and definitely boosted up. For example, Branded against the Illusionist monsters. I know in the OCG, the Illusionists are doing pretty well, even though Branded's also hitting the OCG more, but they have Brand Fusion to 1 there. So it makes sense that the Illusionist would be the way they swing to, since that card, the Illusionist Fusion card, is kind of insane. But I feel like Branded as a whole definitely can start moving towards a different play style with the new Illusionist cards. And as long as Konami keeps printing out more of them, they could definitely get stronger in the future. The other archetypes I want to discuss definitely has to come to Pearly. Pearly is a really cool archetype. It's fun, it's cute, and it got the most broken XYZ they possibly could have got. And now the ban list doesn't even affect them as much anymore because the deck is back to meta contention. It's actually one of the strongest decks in the format. Pearly is a scary deck. They can make Noir again really easy, and definitely nothing that you want to scoff at. It's a scary deck that can do a lot of hurt to you, so be prepared for the Pearly matchups. Be prepared with Kaijus. Another archetype I want to discuss is completely different, but it's definitely a control-based strategy, and that has to be Altergeist. Altergeist gets its new support, and they're more of a combo mid-range deck now, which is pretty cool. I'm really glad to see Altergeist moving away from the setting 5 traps pass with multi-figure in hand. Now they're setting like 3 traps pass with a monster negate and maybe a couple of interactions. It's really cool. And I'm glad Altergeist going forward is just going to be more of a mid-range deck, kind of like Trap Tricks is. Trap Tricks is still a very powerful back row deck, but it's definitely more mid-range, where it doesn't really sit on the floodgates as much as more of we sit on really powerful removal traps in the bottomlesses and stuff like that, and then we just kind of out-resource your opponent, which is pretty good. And I like that playstyle a lot more than just sit on skill drain and just hope for the best, or sit on rivalry. Don't get me wrong, these decks are still going to be doing those kind of strategies. That's not going to change, but they're not going to be playing like 10 to 15 floodgate traps in the main anymore. They're not going to be playing anti-spell in the main, maybe. They're not going to play rivalry. A lot of these really powerful floodgates are probably going to be in the side or not at all played, which is really good. I like that set, like diversify. Now it doesn't like just really die to the lightning storm or evenly. Now it has some interactions. It has some monsters on the field that can do things, which is really cool. So, Altergeist, I'm happy the way it's going. The other archetype I also want to discuss is Mana Dome. Mana Dome gets its second wave of support in the set, and it's absolutely bonkers. I went against a friend of mine who was playing Mana Dome, and the deck is terrifying. If you let that thing go off, my god, it is going to skip your turn with the Chaos Ruler and end on like 4 Omni Negates and a counter trap. You can't let that deck go. Like, even if you Ash Blossom their best card, as long as they have a way to access Excision, holy shit, they keep going. They go and go. It's the new Super Heavy Samurai in the format. It's a combo deck that just goes forever and ends with like 20 interruptions that you can't do nothing. They're just Omni Negate. And that's a very scary sight. Mana Dome is definitely a deck in the tier, and it's definitely something to be scared of. Another archetype that does the same exact thing in this format is Synchron. I know a lot of people aren't playing Synchron because it's more fragile than the Mana Dome deck, but it does the same thing and it's still terrifying. The fact that getting on like 4 Omni Negate Synchros is absolutely bonkers. And not to mention, the new support's just kind of crazy. Revolution Synchron, Everything, the new Synchron Quasar Dragon guy, everything about this deck is absolutely spectacular, and I know my friend Mark has been tinkering with the deck, and I can't wait to do a deck profile on this deck going forward. A couple more archetypes I want to discuss before I end this video. I definitely want to discuss, when it comes to this set, the implications for Rescue Ace. Rescue Ace gets its third wave of support in this set. It's actually meta-defying. Like, Rescue Ace has been I can't say topping. It's definitely topping in the OCG, but in the TCG it hasn't really had a tournament yet. But it's definitely doing well. It's actually a really, really strong rogue to tier 1, tier-ish 2 deck. Like, the fact that it can, like, play around some of the best hand traps in the game is pretty incredible, and its interruptions are nothing to scoff at. I do say it does have a low ceiling, just due to the fact that it's literally, if you make a higher ceiling, you play into cards like Nibiru, but if you play for the lower ceiling, you just kind of lose the evenly, which kind of sucks. Because there's two builds I've seen going around. There's the Link 5 God Turbo version, where like you just link climb into the Fire God and sit behind like 4 back row, or you play the just low to the ground trap version of the deck, which is fine. It's still really, really strong, but it loses the blowout cards like Lightning Storm and Evenly Match, and that kind of sucks. And I definitely want to see this deck do well going forward. I think it has huge potential, and it's definitely putting up results, so we'll just have to see. And the final deck I want to discuss today when it comes to Duelist Nexus has to be Infernoble. Infernoble is a sleeper deck because no one knows how to play Infernoble. It's the Warrior Turbo combo deck that plays all the equipped spells and no one wants to read, and the deck's terrifying. If anyone figures out how to crack Infernoble with the new cards, Emperor Charles, the Link 1, is absolutely stupid. And everything about this deck is just really interesting, and I definitely want to see an equip-based archetype take the meta again, as long as it's not hand looping like the previous version was. And yeah, that's really about it. I hope you all enjoy. Don't do anything stupid, and I'll see you on the next one. As for like meta implications, all the other decks are still in the format. Cash is still the best deck. Punk is still pretty strong. All the other like meta-defined decks, Sprite, Runic, Sprite Runic, all those archetypes are still here. Labyrinth, they're still in this format, but we definitely got some new contenders. Like, I think Altergeister is strongest Trap Tricks, which is like a tier 2 deck. I think Rescue Ace and Pearly and yeah, Mana Dome enter tier 1 status with Labyrinth and Cash. And yeah, that's really about it. I'm really excited to see how this format keeps evolving, and I just can't wait for the next set and to see where it goes from there. As for the other archetype, we got the Tristinas. They are a long way from being playable, but there is some like really cool versions going out online. I've seen a crawler version of the deck. I've seen a pump version of the deck. I've seen a pure version of the deck. Tristina has potential. I just feel like it would be better if they're rocks. That's just my opinion. Hope you all enjoyed doing stupid. I'll see you all next one. Bye-bye.